Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I'm telling you what, you don't even know what's coming for you. It's going to be a fun next 35 minutes here. We have some old Kentucky boys on, and I am excited. Turf Wars podcast, Jacob and Alex are joining us today, and it's just, I don't even know I have no idea where this is going to go. I'm almost a little worried. I'm like, who knows what we're going to get into today, because it's fun having the other guys from the South on, because when you get on talking to these guys up north, I was listening to your show with Brian the other day, and I think y'all were having a conversation about you or y'all and you guys, and I'm like we don't say you guys, it's y'all, and one of you is talking about Yuns. Which one of you says Yuns?
Yuns.
Yeah, Yuns. Yeah. I was born in North Carolina, and so everyone up there, that's all they say is Yuns. Like that's all it is. So when you said that, I was like, oh man, we can we relate on another level than most other people do.
Yeah, Yin's gonna do that then. Okay, I'll be over here.
That's a different breed of language. That's not just like a Southern thing. You're breaking into hillbilly stuff there. So,
oh, you have no idea, brother. You have no idea what's going on here.
Appalachia America.
Yeah, Appalachian American. Yeah,
that's hilarious. Well, guys, whoever wants to take the lead. But I'm excited to see where we go. We're just going to sit back and have fun for the next 30 minutes. I know the value that could turn out of this episode, so I'm excited to see what we get into, because y'all are both running successful landscape companies. You're doing it in an economy where everybody's a little nervous. I lost you. Are you there? There you go. Oh, okay, we're good. My screen just went blank. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, technical, you got to love it. It's just part of real life podcasting here. So we're going to even leave that in the show for everybody to hear. But y'all are doing it in an economy where everybody's freaking out. Like, I don't know if we're going to make it. Our business is going to survive. What are we going to do? And so y'all are rocking and rolling. You've built businesses that I'm excited to hear about. So one of you take the lead. I don't care which one of you does it, and just kind of share about your business, and then we'll just get into the opposite.
Age before beauty, Cracker. Oh, wait, I'm older than you.
Yeah, you're
Nah,
older.
you do it.
You idiot.
All right, I'll go ahead. So basically, we're very new to the podcast scene, so nobody really knows what we're doing. But I've got a Brown Landscape Management here in the same city or next city over from Jacob. We're competitors, but we're a lawn care landscape company, mainly maintenance. I mean, we're doing a lot of the same stuff you guys are out there doing. Not a lot of design build, none of that stuff. It's $80, $100, $200 mows and $60 a man hour, pricing on cleanups and mulch installations, planning. But we run about 25 guys in peak season and girls, and run about 4 or 5 mow crews, 3 to 4 landscape crews, 2 lawn techs treating lawns. And our revenue's between, we'll be anywhere from 2.7 to 3 million. And, we're not really looking to grow that number. We're looking to grow our bottom line and just be more efficient. And, Jacob likes to talk more about his stuff, so I'll let him do that. But first, I got a bone to pick with you. Are you a Georgia fan or what?
Heck no. No, I'm a War Eagle.
Oh, War damn Eagle, huh?
That's right.
Well, I'm a Buckeye fan, so.
No, I feel bad for you.
No, you shouldn't. We're okay. We're all right. But Jacob doesn't know much about football. He likes business, so I'll let him tell you about his company, because he's.
We'll let him talk, and then we'll sit back and talk football later.
If he'd shut up,
he's really rooted in maintenance, and I'm proud of him for mowing grass and making cash. So let him talk to you about it.
Yeah. So if he'd shut up, I'd tell everybody. So we started in 2009 as a taxable company. I've been mowing grass, same story. Everybody, mowed grass when they were in high school and all that good stuff. But I had a job. I went to school, like vocational school, to be a welder, and that's what I do by trade. And I worked at the local railroad there for a few years, about a full year after high school. And then I got laid off when the economy dropped in 2008. And I came home and I was still living at home with mom and dad. And I told them, I'm going to mow grass for a living. And my dad looked at me and said, good luck with that. But so then I just took off from there and we've grown to, we have about 14 employees now. And we're mostly mowing. We do about 80% mowing. We're 80% commercial, 20% residential. We do landscape maintenance. We don't do any design work. And we specialize probably in industrial mowing, like large acreage mowing and that sort of thing. So
what's the biggest? Do y'all have any like 144s or do y'all just rock 72s?
No, we got 72s. We're looking there right now. Me and him both actually were talking about this earlier about the 96.
96. Okay.
Yeah. So
you ever ran one?
Yeah, I've ran them at a quit before. That thing it feels like you're literally riding a chariot.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait.
We've got tractors and stuff, that we use as well, but
yeah.
Skid steers and mowers and stuff, but like for brush hogging and stuff. But we're looking at that. We got 72-inch zero turns right now. It's kind of the model we've had for a while, but we need something,
Now, are y'all more like rolling hills or are y'all pretty flat?
We're like rolling hills to mountainsides.
Okay, so y'all get pretty steep up there then.
Yeah, we're probably one of the only areas in the United States that mows with mostly walk behinds.
Yeah.
So all of our guys, like on our residential side, we run walk behinds, and Alex, you guys run turf tracers, right?
Yeah.
And pretty much always, when you send a lawn truck out, you got 3 walk behinds on there. We don't even put a zero turn on the truck.
Sometimes
Really?
we do, but it's not. It's really hilly here.
Yeah. No, I feel your pain. We're kind of on the bottom. We're on the bottom at the very, very beginning of the Appalachians, and it's we have some. But it's a lot steeper than guys like out west. There's a lot of guys out Midwest where they just could see for freaking 30 miles.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
with these and
I'm like, you don't even know you don't even know how good you have it. Like the fact that you can sit there and. It blows my mind. But I know there's a lot of guys probably like y'all that have it way worse than me because we have some steep stuff, but then there's guys that I know in Tennessee that are mowing and I'm like, holy, like I see them mowing stuff and it's just they can't put a walk behind on it. They're just weed eating it and like weed eating in cleats trying to stay up.
Yeah, it's the same thing here. We have
well, I don't know if it's the same as Tennessee, but it's a lot of stuff we weed eat that we can't mow.
Yeah, there's a lot of applications where like a stand-on mower won't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's like, them are great on hillsides. I'm like, them suck.
Yeah. How have y'all seen walk behinds work as far as are they kind of the same principle? So I know with zero turns, like you never want to get going downhill on a zero turn because when you get your weight behind you like that, there's no stopping it. Is it essentially the same thing with walk behinds on those hills? Do you have to back them down or can you kind of go down with them?
If it's really steep, I mean, obviously you're better if you kind of turn uphill and back down. Hill, but for the most part, they're a lot, they'll go pretty well. We run Ferris Snapper Pro 61-inch and Alex runs Turf Tracer Exmark 60-inch, right?
They hold hills.
Yeah, they hold hills really good.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, and most of the time you can ride behind them on a pro slide or a sulky. We use sulkies. I think he rides on pro slides, but you can ride behind them, like a 190 pound, 200 pound guy can ride behind one on steels, so they do pretty well.
Yeah, that's insane. That's walk behinds. I just bought one. I just bought a 36 just for some small stuff that we have here, but I've never really had one. I had a stand on for a short time. It just didn't fit our needs. We have a lot of bigger properties, and it was a 54-inch, but the motor wasn't big enough. It was too slow. It just wasn't a good fit. But I love the stand on model. I love being able to hop on, hop off. Same principle with the walk behind too. You can just on and off real easy, and I guess we won't get into that. But anyway,
another thing we found with the stand-ons like at his industrial sites, and we do some like college campuses and stuff.
Garbage,
stepping on off, and then blowing too. You can blow. You can operate with one hand and blow your curb lines and get around properties pretty quick with that. But we only run one stand on. We've had 2 or 3 in the fleet before, and it didn't make sense. Yeah, you can put a Z most places. You can put a stand on. So sit down. So. Yeah,
100%. Now, how have y'all? Whichever one of you want to take this, take it. So y'all are both mainly maintenance, right? That's what I'm getting.
Yep.
So, how did y'all kind of break through the barrier? Go back to the very beginning of adding that second crew, if you can remember that far back. And I know it hasn't even been that long for y'all. Like for Alex, you've only been just not that many years, right? Like less than 10.
16, we really started doing stuff kind of a little bigger. I had a failed partnership in the kind of the middle of that, and that's kind of where me and Jacob became best friend or closer, more friendly with each other.
You're not my best friend.
Yeah, we weren't best friends then. I didn't, you didn't trust me.
I love you.
Love you too. But anyway, so yeah, so your question basically is, what do we remember? What was hard about that, or
like what were the processes? Because like I'm there's a lot of guys out there who that's a big goal for them. Like I want to get out of the field. I'm still in that point. I'm like, hey, let me get out of the field, and then also like let's add a second crew on. And how did that work for y'all? How long were you in the field every single day? And when did you start stepping back maybe one day out of it? But was it in that process of adding the second crew? Like what did that process look like of like, hey, I'm becoming a business owner and adding more crews that are going to operate without me there?
So for me, I think I kind of lucked out, and I think you did too, Jacob, with having like a guy, your right-hand man, and like it started out with me and him kind of doing things. And then I said, well, there's a perfect crew leader already because we're both doing the same thing. So going from that to that second crew, it was big to have a crew leader already built in basically. So that was a huge advantage. If you don't have that, I can see it being a lot different, but man, it's more of like a trust thing. Like, is that crew going to do, and early on, especially, is that crew going to do what I would be doing? And are they going to protect my mowers and my equipment and that kind of stuff? And it's finding the right people to make that jump and not just turning that over to anybody. Cause that can be, if you do it too soon, it can be a huge downfall, but doing it can also really, you start to take off. You get to that second crew and that third crew, if it's done right, you just see your business grow, because then you're out of the field, you're looking at the bigger picture all the time. And then, but it's slow because then you're back in the field when someone's sick or someone doesn't show up. You're still doing those things. And like, it takes a whole lot to get me out on a mower because my phone's ringing every 5 minutes. I mean, we've been doing this interview, my phone's ringing like 6 times. And like they'll call somebody else right now, but back then it was me. And so I'm stopping the mower, my weed eater guy, or I'm on a weed eater, either one, and he's done, and now he's waiting on me. So it didn't make sense. But I think once you do that, just make sure you do it the right way. And I'll let Jacob, it was way long ago for you where you went to that second crew. It's probably pretty, it's been what?
2010. Probably.
Yeah. So 13 years. So it's probably a little bit different times back then, but the same premises. You got to find somebody you trust to run that crew, and then you got to follow up. So go ahead and tell them what that was like for you.
So I would tell everybody not to do it the way I did it because I didn't know jack squat about anything. So, I learned the hard way. I just thought that when you hired somebody that, if you pay them $10 an hour, or now back then.
Yeah, back then. Yeah.
But, you pay somebody $15 an hour or whatever, that they would actually work for that $15 an hour. And that's not the case. I thought I grew up like, you do what you say, you show up on time, you do everything. And if somebody's paying you, then you put in a hard day's work, but that's just not the case anymore. Rewind back to 2010 or 11 when I added that second crew. I basically was grooming that crew leader the whole time, like Alex said, while he was with me, in the truck. And this is how we edge. This is how we shut gates back. And I kind of beat that into.
God, that's such a big thing.
The inside,
and no exceptions too.
No exceptions.
Yep. Especially early on.
This is how we talk to customers when the customer comes out, and this is how we greet people, and all that kind of stuff. And so I was grooming that guy the whole time, and then I let him go out on his own, and you got to be willing to let him make mistakes. You have to be financially ready as well to add that second crew. Not in the means of just adding that truck and having the financial, the money in the bank to buy the truck and buy the equipment. Obviously, you got to have that too, but you need to have some financial padding because they're not going to be as profitable as you are on a truck. You and 2 guys, I don't care what people say. They don't work as hard if the boss isn't there. You know what I mean? So your production times will go down. So, and the whole time that you're solo or you've got a guy working on one truck, you need to be timing these properties. If you're using I would suggest you start with a CRM. We use Service Autopilot. Alex uses Service Autopilot, but pick one of them. It doesn't matter whatever, pick any of them. They're all good. All the big brands. Pick one of them and use it and start tracking those yards, how long you're at each property, how much do I charge? And that way you have something to go off of when you do send that truck out. Because if you don't know how long something's taken and you send a crew out, you don't know if you're making money or not.
Yeah, you could easily lose money.
Absolutely.
Well, I think as the owner operator, you got to realize like you want your second crew to be absolutely the same quality level you are, but you're going to have to live with that it's probably not going to be because, get it as close as you can, but it's probably not going to be 1-to-1.
And you have to be willing to have that financial capability of letting them make mistakes.
Yes.
And what I mean by make mistakes is you're going to have some callbacks because they're going to go out there and they're going to forget to mow the backyard or whatever. So the customer's going to call you and say, so-and-so didn't mow the backyard. So you're going to have to send that truck back there. So make sure you're not, completely leveraged to the hill when you add that second crew. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's okay to operate, do that slowly. That's a slow process. We jumped into it and it wasn't successful.
Well, and another thing is thinking back now, expanding on the first question you asked me, what I thought was, so you're sitting there and Jeremiah, you're thinking, man, we did $1,200 a mowing yesterday in production. Your crew did, right? And your other crew comes in and they're not matching you, and you can't expect that to happen. You got to kind of say, all right, they might do 85% efficiency of what we're going to do because it's not the owner on the truck.
Yeah.
So you can't sit there and expect 1-for-1 what the owner's crew's doing and what the second crew's doing. You might get lucky and your guy might be a superstar
and pay that guy.
Yeah, but it's not always going to be that way. Right. So don't go expecting, well, we're doing 1,200 with one crew. It's not going to be doing 24 with 2, 36 with 3. Expect some, diminishing returns with that, and be okay with that and budget for that. Don't expect everything to just double because you're running a second truck. It's not in a perfect world. That'd be awesome. But
don't expect your profits to double. Just expect your expenses to double.
Right.
Yeah. We'll work on growing that profit too.
Yeah.
But and there's going to be a lot of road bumps, but I think it's a must for growing.
Remind me. So while y'all are back in your memories here, this is one that is, you mentioned it. So you're going to have callbacks. People aren't going to do it as good as you. And the reason I'm hitting on this so much is because this is such a common thing that we get asked is like, this is just a point in business where a lot of guys listening are at. Years 3 to 5, let's start looking at adding another crew. For me, this is honestly like a personal thing too, is like, how did you handle with those first 50, 100, however many customers it was when you started not showing up? How did you handle that as when you weren't there anymore and those customers that built your business, they wanted to see you because here's the thing, like you say when a new guy comes on or a new crew lead goes out, they're never going to do it as good as you. Like, right? That's 100. We all agree on that. So that's good if the customers never see your work. But how do you combat it when you jump off the crew and those 100 customers that you have seen your work, and then your work is going to go down a little bit? It just is. It is like you can get them to do 90%. You can get them to do 95%, but it's never going to be 100% what yours was. So how did y'all handle that? I mean, did you just have customers just cancel and you just have to say like, that's part of business, you move on, it's life? Like, how did y'all combat that issue?
That's an issue that you're going to run into. There's going to be people, Caleb Bauman calls them the Dorothy Herflin burgers or something.
Yeah.
Get it right. If you can spell it, I'll give you a 20.
Right. Yeah. But anyway, so those people are going to be calling and nagging or whatever. And you may lose that customer.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes losing that customer is a blessing. You know? In order for you to expand, I mean, you're going to have to be willing to, you're going to have to, lose customers, whatever. Yeah. I mean, you got to be okay with it. You got to take it. But, obviously you want to try to get that guy that's running that crew to be as close as good as your quality is, because you need to have company standards, like I was saying, make sure you shut the gate and that kind of stuff. But, I didn't see a whole lot of that. I mean, looking back, I think a lot of my original customers were they knew me for a long time. I'd mowed their grass for years and they were excited to see me grow, because
and those are the ones you want. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was a young kid. I've got some of the same customers I mowed since I was 13 years old. I do them today. And, so it's, I don't know if I really answered your question or not.
No, that's right. Did y'all do a lot of, so quality control is huge at that point too. You have to keep your quality up. Did y'all do a lot of, like, Alex, when you got out and I know you're doing phone calls and stuff, do you ever ride around and just kind of check on things back in the beginning? Because I think that's something that, so I recently, if anybody's following along the podcast the last couple of months, like I hired a guy, he was great, worked out, I was out of the field for the most part, out of the field at least 3 days, most time 4 days a week, helped a little bit. Well, now that he quit, moved on, I'm back in the field every single day. I'm getting through these properties now that I haven't seen in 3 months, 4 months, because I haven't been there, and I wasn't doing quality control checks, and I'm getting here for the first time now, and I'm like, holy crap, what was happening? Like the customer,
I've been through that for sure.
The customers weren't calling me and complaining. I'm kind of shocked.
Put eyes on it, man. You have to. It's,
so do you think that's key?
The store is now open at thehardscapeacademy.com. When you visit Caleb and Brittany's website, thehardscapeacademy.com, and you click on the store link, you now have instant access to purchase the training videos, documents, forms, and handbooks that you hear mentioned on the podcast. Plus, you can now reserve your spot at one of the upcoming in-person training sessions at the Almonds new shop. Learn step-by-step alongside our master hardscape professionals. These sessions will include how to install retaining walls, project budgeting, and paver patio estimation, just to name a few. Other sessions feature landscape design principles, horticulture basics, installing seat walls and benches, grill island installation, and so much more. Get incredible hands-on experience for you and your crew. Head over there now to find the exact training session you want, but remember, space is limited, so reserve your slot today at thehardscapeacademy.com.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I've been in a situation where one of my biggest contracts, this was back when I was in that partnership that failed. And I'll never forget, I was actually resting in a porta potty taking a break. And so he called me and he was like, "Hey, you seen these places in a while?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, I hadn't." But I said, "Yeah." He was like, "Hey, I want you to know you're not the only shop in town." This was my biggest contract at the time, and we were letting it slip. And I got up off that porta potty, and I bet I saw 45 gas stations in about 2 hours, just checking them out, seeing those were the stops for gas stations. And in about 2 days, we had them all looking perfect, because it was a real wake up call. And he's right, not the only shop in town. And you rest on that kind of thing, and you end up losing it. And you're thinking, gosh, wouldn't it have just been easy to get in the truck, hop out, go with a sprayer and spray some things, or do this, do that? And it's easy to get caught up while you're growing, but number one is the job you're doing. If you don't do a good job, the phone's not going to ring. Or it's not going to ring for very long. You may fool people with some nice advertising, but it's all like a big circle. So, if you don't do good work, you're not going to get work. If you don't price your jobs right, you're not going to be around long enough. You just have to, there's certain key things you got to do. And, but doing a good job is the base. Even if you're not making money, you won't stick around long enough to correct that and make money if you're not doing good work.
That's good. No, I think that's huge. That's quality control. I feel like is something that my eyes have been open to, of like, when I do this again, right now I'm in the middle of training a guy that's come on and I think he's going to be really good. But I'm like, the day that I'm not there, like the first day that I'm not in the field, I'm going out after them and making sure everything looks good. Like, I've got to stay on top of that. And I think that's key for a lot of guys listening. Like, when you get to that point, make sure you don't just move on into the sitting in the office and sending out estimates, because at the end of the day, you got to keep your current clients happy. If you start losing them, then and your attrition goes through the roof, then it's like you're going to have to get back in the field, because you're not going to be able to afford to pay anybody to go out.
We both have probably made those mistakes, and it might be like, we're kind of in, maybe different situations. Like he was in the field a lot last year, and maybe more than he would like to be, I think. Right.
Yeah.
And I was, and last year I did a better job of like going around checking sites, but I've been the one that's like, oh, everything is great. And then it's like a big mountain of crap comes at you. And I think you've probably ran into that too, where you're just so focused on getting the work done that it's hard and you can't do everything.
And two, I think a lot of times people are focused on, getting out of the field. And that's such a huge thing to, I got to get out of the field. I'm going to hire this guy and I'm not going to mow grass anymore. Well, we own a lawn care company. Like, we mow grass for a living. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're going to have to jump back in the field, and like, it's not all hunky dory. Like, I'll be mowing probably tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what? Like, these guys are like absentee ownership or whatever. Like, I don't understand that. If you can figure it out, that's great. I haven't been able to do it. I guess I'm not smart enough or whatever. But like, I don't know. I think I think guys get a lot of false. They get a lot of false visions of what it's like to do.
Well, they hear a lot of gurus talking, saying that it's possible to, and
you get some guru standing next to a Lamborghini with two half-naked chicks, and he's like, "I'll show you how to make $1 million." I'm like, okay, but yeah, right.
Make $1 million or keep $1 million.
Keep $1 million.
Exactly.
But so, I think it's important that people don't get so stressed out about like, oh, I gotta completely get out of the field. Like, man, I don't know if you'll ever get completely out of the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
Not if you want to keep things profitable like they should be. I'm more out of the field now than I've ever been, obviously. But like, we're not getting our HGB guys here for another 2 weeks. So, here this week, it's going to be really nice. Monday, Tuesday, on my estimate days. Wednesday, Thursday, I'll probably be doing something with my production manager out with him, whether it's on a dingo or on a mower, whatever needs done.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do that, but I mean, if that's what it comes down to, we're going to do it.
The work has to get done. I mean, you can't just sit at the house and, or sit in the office and think that everything's going to be, hunky dory.
Yeah. The work doesn't do itself. Somebody's got to do it. Tell me, I know y'all been making your rounds, like bursting on the scene. If people are in this network of podcasts, they've probably heard y'all talk about the H2B program that y'all utilize. Tell me the 30-second version of it, just so maybe somebody hasn't listened, hasn't heard about it, knows what it is. Because I remember the first time I heard y'all talk about it, I was like, what is that? I never heard of it before. And is it doable? Can you do it like without having to get a bunch of guys? Can you just get like one or two guys from it?
Yeah, you can.
So tell us about it.
Yeah, so the H-2B program is a worker visa program that's for non-citizens of the United States, usually from Mexico, Guatemala, those countries, and they come over on a temporary work visa. It's for companies that have seasonality in their business. So the lawn care industry utilizes them. I think we're number one, lawn care and landscape, and the seafood industry utilizes them. Golf courses, some stuff in like seasonality with like hospitality kind of stuff. They utilize them as well. Those guys come over. They can be here for up to 10 months on that visa, and then they have to return home every year. It's not a fix-all for everybody's issues. There's a lot of scrutiny with the program, with the government. You're basically relying on the government to allow you to have your workforce. We lean on that program for 80% of our workers. And it's bit us in the hind end a few times, because a few years back they created a lottery system, and so you get put in a lottery, and basically they pull a name out of a hat, you know what I mean, and you get in different buckets: bucket A, bucket B, bucket C, bucket D. And if you get in one of those lower buckets, C or D, you're not going to get your guys for the year, but you've paid all the fees, and it'll cost you thousands of dollars. So
it is expensive. That's one thing for everyone listening. It's not like, hey, you go fill out some paperwork and boom.
Yeah, and you get a bunch of guys across the border. It doesn't work like that. In order to get your guys for next year, you have to be starting now. And so you'll be going through.
And you're not even guaranteed them, though?
No, you're not guaranteed them.
So this is probably somebody's probably asked you this before, and it's just blunt. Like, how do you run your business off of that? If it's up in the air, you don't even know if you're going to get them. Like, how do you just take the risk?
We're professional gamblers.
It's harder than heck. That's how you do it.
I mean, like, what are you going to do if they don't show up one year? What is your
happen? It's happened in 2020. It happened to me, and it was probably one of the worst years I had in business.
So you just never got them all year?
No, because they shut the borders down, and we were in one of the lower buckets that year. And did you get your guys?
Yep. But they were delayed by months and months.
Yeah. So that's a good point. We struggled to find people, because the whole reason we use the H-2B program is because we can't find people, obviously.
Yeah.
And so we were just hiring warm bodies, with a pulse, and throwing them in a truck. And we lost customers. We had to call customers and tell them, hey, we can't maintain your properties anymore. You're gonna have to find somebody else. That's tough calls to make. A lot of our industrial sites locked us out for a couple of months, and we had purchase order agreements and stuff and contracts in place, but they locked us out of going inside their factories and stuff, because they're the whole world, everybody's going to die. COVID happened.
Yeah.
And so we didn't get paid, though. You know what I mean? For those 2 months, months that we weren't there. Yeah. So everybody talks about jumping in the commercial world too. So that stuff.
It's good until the government doesn't want you there.
Right. And Alex was mostly residential, I think, and he does commercial too as well, but he didn't have some of those same issues that I had, as far as that
residential
goes.
Took off.
Yeah. Everybody. I mean, that's probably one of the best years you had in a while, right?
No, because of how we had to do the work. But as far as sales,
I've
never seen things be so easy. But we struggled getting them done with the two guys to a truck, or couldn't do that.
Right.
Yeah. But other than that, like as far as sales go, I mean, literally, like they sold themselves. They were like,
free money back.
Yeah, literally. I remember.
Well, I think it was people were home. They were wanting, they saw how bad their landscape looked. Ain't no such thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were at home, saw what their landscape looked like. And we're like, shit, we're going to have to be here looking at this. We might as well make it look good. We might be stuck here forever.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
that's insane.
But yeah, it is not a fix all, like Jacob said. It's actually a pretty nerve-wracking way to do things. We do have kind of contingency plans in place as far as like downsizing if that happens. And
Mm-hmm.
I think, at our size, we do separate our customers. Not all customers are important to us, but tiers. Like we've got our ones that we know, hey, we got to have these to operate.
Yeah.
These are just ones that we are, kind of doing because they fit and that kind of thing. That sounds kind of horrible, but it's you really got to think about these things whenever and we don't spend too much time with that because we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But
how long beforehand do you know they're not going to show up? Like, are they going to tell you that they're not going to show up in May, or are they going to tell you that in February?
You know that more like
Probably
January, February.
Yeah,
right?
about February. You'll know.
Okay, so you at least have time to at least try to like put out a call to act, like please come work. Like,
Well, we're always trying to hire.
Yeah, we're hiring constantly, but the thing about it is though, these guys have been working for me since 2014, so that's my guys.
yeah.
Like, they know the
Their
routes.
family at that,
They know the routes. They know the trucks. They know the equipment, and so they're my workers. And so it's not like just day laborers or something that you find at the 7-Eleven or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
you don't see too many Kreider's employees that speak full English.
right.
If you do, we're in trouble.
But I don't know if it's not a fix all for sure, and we as a company are trying to look at ways to not utilize it, not lean on it so heavy, and especially since 2020 we've been doing that. But it's not something that we can just do overnight, and we keep hoping and praying that the government will reform that program, because at one time it was actually great. It was very successful,
and it benefits them. I mean.
Yeah. And, for a while, I think it's still true to this day, but H-2B workers mow the grass of the White House. I'm pretty sure about that, like 80% sure. But anyway, I don't know. But like, when all the crap came up with build the wall with Donald Trump, and I mean, I'm a red-blooded American Republican, you know what I mean? But I mean, that took a toll on the H-2B program, blocking the borders. We're going to build a wall. And he was one of the biggest users of the program. Like he had like 200 of them or something like that. That he used for all of his golf courses. But anyway, not to get political, but we got political.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
Find a way.
I always find a way. But I don't know, man. Like if the government does, we go to some lobby events. Like they have some fly-in stuff that you can do. Go into Washington D.C. and have all the landscapers get together, and they talk to different lobbyists and stuff, and senators and congressmen and stuff to try to get the program reformed. So
that's really cool.
Anyway, we're hoping for that'll happen. I mean, it's been there before. It can go back to that again. So
there's potential for it to be really good.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we're getting closer now. I do not like this administration at all. Not even one bit, but I think we're closer with this administration than we were with the others. So.
Yeah. I totally get that. I tell you what, I want to be respectful of y'all's time. We've had a really good conversation so far. Let's go 30 more seconds. Plus 3 minutes. I don't know why I said 30 seconds. Let's go by 3 more minutes. I got one question that a lot of guys are I hear a lot. I want to break into commercial. I don't know how. I hear commercials cutthroat. In y'all's experience of being in the commercial world, is it you really get to build the relationship with your property management companies, the factors, whoever it is you're doing? Like, do you get underbid a lot? Is that a common thing you see, or is it you really get to build relationships and hold on to those contracts over time because they simply don't want to hire somebody new?
Yeah. So yes and yes. So it is cutthroat. Your margins will be a little bit lower, especially on the mowing side. But I grew my commercial business organically. I'm a redneck, you know what I mean? I'm a hillbilly. Listen to me, you know what I mean? Like I sound like an idiot. So I related better with those maintenance directors, those blue collar people, the guys that were over the grounds at the local factory or was over the grounds at the Walmart or whatever. Yeah. And so I related to those guys a lot better than I did the people with the $1 million houses that, play golf.
Yep.
Time. And it worked organically for me that way. And a lot of my connections were, people in the blue collar world. So they worked at these places or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, I know the guy that's over the grounds here or whatever. I'll throw you a bone. I'll give him your name and number. And that's kind of how mine went. Now that we're there, we focus on that obviously, but it's cutthroat. I mean, but you still get to build relationships. I've had contracts with some of these places that I've had for 10 years, so, if you get in there and do a good job, and you don't give them a reason to let you go, like
That's the
they'll
key.
stay with you. I mean, there might be some idiot that comes in there and cuts your price in half or whatever, but you know what? Like either
They'll
pay
call
me
you
now
back
or
in
pay me
6
later.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't burn bridges. I've got several clients that we've lost strictly due to price in that kind of realm,
And get them back.
and you get them back. So
Yep.
always exit, gracefully,
Yep.
and tell them we're here if you need us. If there's something they can't handle, we'll be glad to do it. You get in a pinch if we can fit you on our schedule. And trust me, as if you're getting cut in half or like that, they're coming back, baby, and they're going to come back at a higher rate too.
Yeah.
So keep that in your back pocket.
Yeah, that's good. What is one piece of advice you would each give to somebody looking to grow their lawn care business, whether it be commercial or residential, this season?
Low and slow, baby. Do it the right way. Systems in place, knowing your numbers, CRM, do things, act like you're $1 million company when you're doing 40K, 80K, 120.
Yeah.
Put those things in place, be professional, and also don't overpromise. I would think that you need to, under promise and over deliver always, but especially early on. And your name and your reputation, your company name, your last name, all is more valuable than any truck, any piece of equipment, anything like that. You can always win with that. So I'll let Jacob add on that, but just doing things the right way. Cause I know we made the mistake in not having a handbook from when we had 3 employees and now trying to implement that. But we have one, but really trying to govern with it is hard at 20, 25 guys. So even if you don't think you need it, you do. Go ahead and do that right now, because or get all your information in the CRM, because you'll be thankful you did it now. And that will tell you whether you're ready to grow or you're not, because doing it the wrong time can be detrimental. But I would say, make sure you're in the right spot financially and go for it though. You know what I mean? Like don't hold back. Like if this is something you've thought about it, you've researched, you know your stuff, go for it, man. And you can always go back to one truck and trailer,
Yeah.
you can always do anything. Like, I mean, you only get one life. So go for it. I'll let Jacob kind of expand on that.
Yeah. So everything I would say is, I always go back to this. If you're married, make sure your wife's on board. If you're jumping into the business, you're going full time from working a factory job or whatever, and you're going, because it's going to be hard and you're going to have a lot of long nights, all about it. And, so make sure your wife, if you got kids, I've got a new baby girl, and I think you do too, right? Baby girl or baby boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So make sure that you're grounded in that first, because man, I'll tell you what, self-employed people, they struggle in the relationship department for sure. But to add on to that, I would say make sure you learn the word no. No is a full sentence. Don't take more than you can chew. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Yeah. If you're trying to get into hardscaping, or you're trying to get in, you're mowing grass now, go into that stuff slow. Maybe start by doing border edging around a landscape, and then, don't go in there and tell a customer, oh yeah, because you watched, Mulder or Caleb Almond building these nice, beautiful patios. Don't get on there and tell them that, oh yeah, I can do that kind of stuff. Those guys have worked years to get to where they're at, and they know what they're doing, so you can't just jump right into that kind of stuff.
So I will add too, just sitting here thinking, one thing that I think we did is like chasing squirrels. So if you know your numbers and you know what you're good at, and you got all your stuff in a row, like Jacob said here recently, do more of that. Like don't just because you're in this industry doesn't mean you have to be full service.
Right.
Doesn't mean you have to not cut grass. Doesn't mean you have to cut grass. Whatever you're good at, be really good at it, be profitable at it, and do a lot of it. And you're gonna be glad you did. Don't spread yourself thin and chase squirrels. I've done that a lot. You do. We probably still do it. I think I'm doing it right now. But I mean, don't do it when you're focused. Yeah. Don't stay on track, because if you do that and be really good at that and focus on making a profit, then we'll worry about the speed later. Get the direction down first. You know what I mean? And
don't get discouraged by getting on social media and Instagram and seeing all the guys, like companies like me or Alex or whoever that's got the big dualies and the excavators and all, the brand new zero turns and all that stuff. I mean, a lot of that crap, them guys probably can't afford payroll each week. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't. Well,
I've been calling them out live on the show.
That's what I'm getting at. Don't get on. That's a highlight reel. You know what I mean? And it's just, a lot of guys get on there and even if the guys are successful, like I said before, it's took them years, to build what they're doing. So you can't start day one and look at that and be like, oh, I need to be there. Like, yeah, you need to work toward that, but don't get discouraged because what you're doing is just as important as what them people on there are doing as well. So
I agree. I 100% agree with that.
No, that's good, guys. I love that. Well, I'll tell you what, we're coming up on 40 minutes. We got to run. We still got another show we got to do here, and I'm excited for it. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. Thank y'all for joining us, Alex and Jacob. It's been an honor. Hopefully we get to do this again. We need to sit down and do this again pretty soon because there's so many other directions we could get into today that we just don't have time for. But I tell you what, where can everybody check y'all out if they want to go hear more of your podcast and then maybe follow y'all on social media as well?
Jacob, tell.
Yeah, so we're at Turf Wars. We're on Instagram at Turf Wars Podcast. We're on Apple and Spotify. Our podcast drops every Tuesday. I'm at Kreider Lawn 09 on Instagram, and he is at Brown Landscape Management
on Instagram and Facebook, I believe.
And Facebook, so wherever. But yeah, we're on there. Just look us up. Try to find us.
Man. Yeah, I tell you what, guys, if you can't tell by this show, like these are just two good old boys that are running big companies that are having a good time doing it and trying to share their thoughts along the way. I'm telling you, like their show is so fun and entertaining to listen to, and also like you get a lot of good value out of it. So I really appreciate y'all coming on and joining us today. If y'all enjoyed the show, leave us a big 5-star rating and review. Do the same for them on theirs. It just really helps. Like it really helps the algorithm, and a well-worded review really helps so we can continue to grow the community one relationship at a time. But without any further ado, that is going to wrap this episode up, and we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.